Hey guys, Ron here. Excuse me, I'm adjusting for a second. Today we are going to be looking at the house, the home. Actually, I just saw the next door neighbors go in. Of where? Let me start again. We're going to be looking at the home of Carole Landis, who was a pretty big star, who not a lot of people have heard of, although she was a really big star mostly in the 40s, but starting in the late 30s. So, we're going to talk about Carole Landis and her life, and then I'm going to show you the house, which I just passed. And I have to admit, there's so many interesting things about Carole that I made some notes that I'm going to be referring to here, so just bear with me on that. But Carole Landis was born, well, her name wasn't Carole Landis. I am sorry here, but I'm going to get to all that. Show you the neighborhood while we're at it. Oh, can't see. Boy, it's a cold one today. It's a cold day in LA, and you can smell the fireplaces. So Carole Landis actually was born Frances Ridsay, and I believe it's 1919. I believe so. I have to do the math. When she was 15, she dropped out of high school, and she went to work in San Francisco as a hula dancer in a club on Post Street, I believe. And her boss said, you know, this girl, he said he just felt sorry for her, so he hired her. And he said that she was a blonde doing a pathetic hula, and it would never further her career. Around that time, she changed her name to Carole Landis. Carole Lombard was her favorite actress. She bleached her hair blonde and wanted to be a star. So, and that was after, like I said, after dropping out of high school. Hold on here, big guy. Let's show you this for a second. As I switch, I apologize about that. So, show you some more of the neighborhood. Oh, look at that house. Isn't that a beauty? Sorry about that, folks. So in 1937, and again, I apologize about the notes, but again, and there's even more I could tell you. It's just so interesting with her personal life, her love life. And I'm also walking the little guy as we speak. Wow, where are all these cars coming from? This is a very exclusive neighborhood. A lot of cars all of a sudden. Not that there's a direct correlation or lack thereof, but it's interesting. So in 1937, she was cast as an extra in Star is Born. I believe that was the first Star is Born. Probably the best. And she did a lot of cheesecake photos, a lot of pin-up girls, lots of them, hundreds of them. And then, let's turn back this way, little mister. Let's go this way. And then in 1940, she was cast by Hal Roach in what would become her breakthrough role. She was a cave girl in A Million Years BC. And she was so beautiful that at least one press agent called her the Ping Girl. Ping was supposed to be a contraction of purring. Yeah, I don't know. Her other nickname was the Chest, because of an ample chest. And that was the days, of course, before women had plastic surgery, or anybody had plastic surgery, breast augmentation. So she was the real deal. Show you a house there for a minute. And I'm going to switch again. One of the things that was also interesting about Carole Landis that I wanted to note was that her voice was considered good enough to sing in her own films. Almost always, even with the case of Natalie Wood decades later, they'd have someone else singing for them, or dubbing the voice, I should say, but she sang in her own films. So that was, that was considered pretty special and rare for those days. Now she got a contract with 20th Century Fox, and seems that, let's look at this house while we're talking. This is a beauty. She got a contract with 20th Century Fox. I don't know for how many films her contract was, but she was having an affair with Daryl, the famously married Daryl Zanuck, head of the studio. And then when she broke it off with Zanuck, she was relegated to B Pictures. That was her punishment. She wasn't given the good films anymore. She was, however, still, considered star status, and during World War II, she was very, very deeply involved in the USO shows. In fact, she visited, not only, was she deeply involved and traveled a lot to view um, guys in the military during the war, but she was known for her compassion in sitting with these guys wounded in Army hospitals and other military branch hospitals. And she was a favorite amongst the guys in the armed forces, the GIs, because of that, and because she was beautiful, and she was a favorite pinup. That I didn't realize, that Carole Landis was a favorite pinup of the GIs. I mean, you hear about Rita Hayworth and others, but you don't hear so much about Carole Landis. Anyway, let's see, one more note here. Look around the neighborhood. Well, after the war, another interesting fact about Carole was that she was married and divorced 5 times to 4 different men by the time she was 29 years old. And unfortunately, she died when she was 29. So quite a volatile personal life. When she was separated from her last husband, her 4th husband, would become her last husband, she started an affair with the actor Rex Harrison. Rex Harrison was married to an actress. So, very famous couple, Lily Palmer, famous couple in Hollywood and around the world. And it was sort of an open secret that Rex Harrison and Carole Landis were having this affair. So apparently Lily Palmer knew as well, but I won't speak for her memory. And saying what she knew, what she was doing, who knows. But apparently she knew until it was publicized after Carole Landis' death, and I think she threw out Rex for a while. I think we're coming up to the house here. Put my glasses on. Yeah. Let's see. Beautiful, beautiful neighborhood, isn't it? I believe this is the house, and I'm going to double check that in a second. So they're having an affair. I'm going to finish it up when we get in front here. Yeah, that's a beauty. Beautiful home. A lot of frontage with this beautiful lawn here. Yeah, this is it. So I'm going to keep out of it and say that it kind of goes on there. That after the affair, well, Rex Harrison broke off the affair. The people are there, and I don't like to violate people's privacy, so I'm going to keep walking. But I'll show you the house here. I don't want to stand in front filming too long. Beautiful home. Beautiful home there. Yeah. So Rex Harrison was finally forced to break off the affair. And sorry about that, folks. Let's get the house behind me again a little bit. And when he did break off the affair, it's safe to say Carole didn't take it too well. Because that night after Rex left, apparently, and I say apparently because her family, or what's left of her family, she wasn't able to have children. Apparently she had endometriosis and wasn't able to conceive. But whoever her family is, or descendants, they have claimed, let's show the house for a second there again a little bit, that they're not 100% sold on the fact that it was suicide, but coroner's report said suicide, that she was so distraught from Rex Harrison breaking up with her that she swallowed a bottle of sleeping pills. Barbiturates, same way as Marilyn died, sort of. And like I said, she was only 29. She was found by her maid. I don't know whether Rex Harrison was there or not, and he might have actually, as far as finding her, that is. But he was certainly questioned by the police, and said he didn't know anything about it. Apparently there were 2 notes left, one to her mother, which has been publicized, and one to Rex Harrison. He denied it. In fact, he would go further and say we were just good friends, but apparently it was pretty well known around Hollywood that it was an affair and it was broken off, and that was the problem as far as Carole was concerned. and I believe the note said that too. I don't think it hurt Rex Harrison's career, though, too much after that. I don't think there was that much of a scandal. Considering it was 1948, you'd think there'd be more of a scandal. But that was the end of what could have been, it was a very promising career. In fact, in those 8 years or so, she had quite the career. She worked a lot and was quite well known, but I suspect she would have worked a lot more. So that's it, folks. That was one of the big scandals, the big major suicides before 1950 in Hollywood. So I'm going to call it there. Let's see if we can get some of these other homes. It's interesting because this is the same neighborhood. Look at this beauty behind me, Mediterranean. This is the same neighborhood where I did a vlog where Rod Serling lived. And just up the road here, just up the block, and I did a vlog of that as well a couple weeks ago. Okay, folks, I'm going to call it there. My name is Ron. I really appreciate you watching and listening, and I would appreciate it even more if you would subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And please give me likes. Please comment in the comment section. I would really appreciate it if you see fit. And by the way, if you do subscribe, please hit the little bell icon next to the subscribe, and that way you'll know when I post. Okay, folks, on to the next location. We'll see you there. Thanks for listening and watching, and bye-bye.